Hello everyone! Wayne Reed's back again for another adventure, and today we're picking up where we left off last time with Babar the King, which, if you forgot, is written by Jean D. Bernhoff. Let's jump back in. And remember, if you're reading along with us, all you have to do is hit the CC button at the bottom of your screen so the words can pull up and you can join us on the adventure. Also, who's going to join us today? Oh, it's Queen Celeste. The name of Celesteville comes from her name. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully, I'll be able to read good enough for a queen. This is going to be on page 21 is where we'll continue. The next day, after their morning dip in the lake, the children go to school. It's a great way to start the day. And they are glad to find their dear teacher, the old lady, waiting for them. Lessons are never tiresome when she teaches. Really nice. After having settled the little ones at their tasks, she turns her attention to the older one, asking them, 2 times 2? 3, answers Arthur. No, 4, said his neighbor Ottilie. 4? That's what we study for, sang Zephyr. 4, repeated Arthur. I'll not forget that again, teacher. I guess an elephant never forgets. We'll see if Arthur remembers next time we read. All the elephants who are too old to attend classes have chosen a trade. For example, Tapator is a cobbler, Pillowphage an officer, Kapalasa is a doctor, Barbacoal is a tailor, Pondular a sculptor, and Hatchibumbaltar is a street cleaner. Domolar is a musician, Olar is a mechanic, Poltifor is a farmer, Fandango is a learned man. Interesting. Justian is a painter, Coco a clown. If Capsulo has holes in his shoes, he brings them to Tapator. And if Tapator is sick, Kapalasa takes care of him. If Barbacoal wants a statue for his mantelpiece, he asks Pondular to carve one for him. And when Pondular's coat is worn, he takes it to Barbacoal and makes a new one to order for him. Justian paints a portrait of Pillowphage, who will protect him against his enemies. Hatchibombartar cleans the streets. Olar repairs the automobiles. And when they are all tired, Domalar plays his cello to entertain them. After having settled grave problems, Fandango relaxes and eats some of Potifor's fruits. As for Coco, he keeps them all laughing and gay. So, really cool. We get to see all of the elephants. Can you remember who's who? Interesting. Queen Celeste remembers. She knows everything. At Celesteville, all the elephants work in the morning, and in the afternoon, they can do as they please. That sounds really cool. They play, go for walks, read, and dream. Babar and Celeste, hey, that's you, like to go play tennis with Mr. and Mrs. Pillowphage. Cornelius, Fandango, Pondular, and Kapalos prefer to play bowls. The children play with Coco the clown. Arthur and Zephyr put on masks. There is a shallow pool in which to sail their boats, and there are many other games beside. But what elephants like best of all is the theater in the amusement park. That's really cool. Every day in the morning, Hatchimumbaltar sprinkles the streets with his motor sprinkler. When Arthur and Zephyr meet him, they quickly take off their shoes and run after the car barefoot. Oh, what a fine shower, they say laughingly. Unfortunately, Babar caught them at it one day. "No dessert for either of you, you rascals," he cries. Arthur and Zephyr are mischievous, as are little boys, but they are not lazy. Babar and Celeste visit the old lady and are amused to hear them play the violin and the cello. "It is wonderful," says Celeste. And Babar adds, "My dear children, I am indeed pleased with you. Go to the pastry shop and select whatever cakes you like." They did really good then. Arthur and Zephyr are very happy to have had all the cakes they wanted. But they are even more delighted when the first distribution of prizes they hear Cornelius read out. First prize for music, a tie between Arthur and Zephyr. Very proudly, with wreaths on their heads, they went back to their seats, having been rewarded. After having rewarded the good scholars, Cornelius makes a noble speech. "And now, I wish you all a pleasant holiday," he ended up. Everyone clapped hard and applauded loudly. Then, quite weary, he sat down. But alas and alack, his fine hat was on the chair, and he crushed it completely. "A regular pancake," says Zephyr. Cornelius was aghast, and sadly looked at what was left of his hat. What would he wear on the next formal occasion? Who knows? Queen Celeste? I think that's a good idea. On to the next page. The old lady promises Cornelius to sew some plumes on his old derby, and in order to console him further, she invites him to go for a ride on the new merry-go-round which Babar had just had built. Ponduler had carved the animals, Justinen had painted them, and the motor was installed by Olor. All three of them are very skillful. They really are. They have also made the king's mechanical horse. Olor had just oiled it, and Babar is winding it up. He wants to give it a final trial before the big celebration on the anniversary of the founding of Celesteville. Babar gets a mechanical horse. That is very interesting. The weather is perfect the day of the celebration. Arthur marches at the head of the parade with Zephyr in the band. Cornelius follows, his hat completely transformed. Then come the soldiers and the trade companies. All those who are not marching are watching this unforgettable spectacle. Really, really cool. And you can even see Babar on his mechanical horse. On his way home from the celebration, Zephyr notices a curious stick. He goes to pick it up. Horrors! It is a snake which rears back and hisses its head. And cruelly bites old lady, who tries to hide Zephyr in her arms. Arthur furiously smashes his bugle on the snake's back and kills it. The old lady arm swells rapidly, and she hastens to the hospital. Dr. Kapelos takes care of her and gives him a hypodermic of serum. Zephyr sadly remains near his mistress. She is very ill. I can't tell you until tomorrow whether she'll get well, Kapelos says to Babar. This is really scary, isn't it, Queen? As Babar leaves the hospital, he hears cries of, "Fire! Fire!" Cornelius's house is on fire. The stairwell is already full of smoke, and the firemen succeed in rescuing Cornelius. But he is half suffocated, and a burning beam has injured him. Kapelos, summoned in great haste, gives him first aid, before having him moved to the hospital. A match which Cornelius thought he had thrown into the ashtray, but which had actually fallen, still lighted into the trash basket. Oh, Cornelius. Had been started enough to start this terrible fire. That night, when Babar goes to bed, he shuts his eyes but cannot sleep. What a dreadful day, he thinks. It began so well. Why did it have to end so badly? Before these two accidents, we were all so happy and peaceful in Celesteville. We had forgotten that misfortune existed. Oh, my dear old Cornelius, and you, dear old lady, I would give my crown to see you cured. Kapelas was to telephone me any news. Oh, how long this night seemed, and how worried I am. That's a good king to worry about everyone. Babar finally drops to sleep, but his sleep is restful, and soon he dreams. He hears knocking at his door. Tap, tap, tap. Then a voice says to him, "It is I, Misfortune, with some of my companions, come to pay you a visit." Babar looks out the window and sees a frightful old woman surrounded by flabby, ugly beasts. He opens his mouth to shout, "Ugh, fuck, go away." But he stops to listen at a very faint noise. Fur, fur, fur. As all of the birds flying in a flock, he sees them coming towards him. Graceful winged elephants who chase misfortune away from Celesteville and bring back happiness. At this point, he wakes up and feels much, much better. And you can see those elephants chasing away misfortune. Babar dresses and runs to the hospital. Oh joy! What does he see? His two patients walking in the garden. He can hardly believe his eyes. "We are all well again," says Cornelius. "But all this excitement has made me hungry as a wolf. Let's get some breakfast. Then later, we'll rebuild my house." A week later, in Babar's drawing room, the old lady says to her two friends, "Do you see how life in one must never be discouraged? The vicious snake didn't kill me, and Cornelius is completely recovered. Let's work hard and cheerfully and continue to be happy." And since that day, over in Elephant's country, everyone has been happy and contented. This has been a really fun adventure with Babar the King. What did you think? What did you think, Queen Celeste? Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you in your next adventure. And I hope to see everyone here in this next adventure with Wayne Reads. Take care, and I'll see everyone soon. Bye-bye!